Hi family, thank you for being here. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. There's something that I've been dealing with, and I actually filmed this at like 3 a.m. this morning, but because it was mildly emotional and depressing as well as scatterbrained, I decided to refilm it again now that I've gotten more sleep. Before I get started, the purpose of filming this video is because I am a seeker of truth, and I don't ever want you guys to come here and think that I know everything, that I know the right thing, I have the solutions, or any of that. The idea is really in finding and discovering what works within my own journey and in what can help affect your journey positively, because something my dad always preaches, it's that your medicine can be another person's poison. And that was a hard thing for me to swallow. Maybe that is the lesson in all of this that I'm about to tell you, but I just wanted to share this with you guys so that you are 100% on the same page, since my journey is something that you've been with for a really long time, most of you. And also so there's a continuation, or there's no surprises, so that you know how point A ended up at point B or C or D going forward. So some of you guys may already know this. I have been dealing with adrenal fatigue for the last 10 years. And basically, just to give you a brief background, your adrenals are glands in your body, kind of close to the kidneys, that produce a variety of hormones. Those hormones are adrenaline. They also produce some steroids, as well as cortisol, which cortisol is actually responsible for balancing your blood sugar. I mean, in essence, without going into the massive science of things, cortisol is what keeps your blood sugar from dipping too low, and it's got an intimate relationship with insulin, which you know helps regulate the blood sugar from shooting up so high. But when you get to level 3 or 4 adrenal fatigue, your body does not produce the right amount of cortisol, if any cortisol at all. And I did not know this. I always thought cortisol was fight or flight hormones. I thought it was a stress hormone. And I knew that it had to deal with storing a lot of fat. If you are too stressed out and you're eating a lot, you can, store a lot of what you're eating into fat. But I never really understood the dynamics of it. And in studying adrenal fatigue and working with hormone analysis, as well as naturopathic doctors, nobody really gives you that sort of chemistry of what's going on in your body. They just tell you, okay, your body's not producing cortisol, take these herbs, sleep a lot, don't exercise too hard, and make sure that you're eating often throughout the day. And for me, I have spent the last 10 years trying to be so perfect in what I know is healthy and good and right for my body, and oftentimes working against myself. I've mentioned in the past that if you have a level 3 or 4 adrenal fatigue, technically working out really hard or doing in high intensity training with lots of cardio, max repetition, that sort of thing, can actually overtax your adrenals, because you can't make enough cortisol to sustain your system. You're not making enough cortisol to sustain the blood sugar necessary to feed the system under that amount of stress. So you're actually forcing, or I like to call it like wringing out your adrenals even more, forcing it to produce cortisol that it doesn't have. So it's becoming overtaxed. Now, some of you guys who are new might say, okay, what are you rambling on about? And why does this even matter? And really it matters because adrenal fatigue affects so many of us that we don't know. And for me, it's affected me for the last 10 years in me not being able to perform in my work, in fitness, in athletics, in life, in a way that I used to be able to. And I don't mean like, okay, well, I used to climb Mount Everest and now I can't do that. It's not like that. Like, I literally cannot function for a week if I have 1 to 2 hours of decent, not hard, not military grade, just vigorous exercise. If I overtax the amount I work out, my adrenals crash. So the battle has been diet, energy levels, being able to be an entrepreneur, a mom, and work in fitness, in the fitness realm. It has everything to do with the ability to sleep, because if you don't produce enough cortisol and your blood sugars don't stay regulated, you get huge bouts of insomnia. Now, here's the thing. You might wonder how I got myself there. If I'm so healthy, how did I get myself there? And if you're new to this video, the reason that I got adrenal fatigue, and there's a myriad of different reasons, but for me, I was 6 years on birth control, and I also took FDA-approved steroids after being a competitive athlete and struggling with weight. It was under the suggestion of a personal trainer. And one day I felt like I was going to have a heart attack, so I stopped it all and I slept for 48 hours straight. And I didn't know at that time that I had already compromised my adrenals. I did not have a period for a year, and when the periods returned, I had the worst bouts of PMS, exhaustion, emotional ups and downs, like things I had never experienced in my life. And I thought that this was due to re-regulating after the birth control and all that, but I had no idea I'd compromised my system, and I had no idea that this would move forward and affect me through my journey of veganism and a plant-based diet, and that being the reason that my first pregnancy was very hard on my body, and I went into preterm labor and eventually decided to come off of a vegan diet. And through my second pregnancy, I had no idea why I felt better. I thought it was just meditation and yoga and being more relaxed, but I was actually supporting or facilitating an environment in which my adrenals could begin to recover despite creating a human baby. And I had no idea. And, okay, try not to get emotional, but this is a really hard and frustrating place for me to be, because I have spent so many years dedicated to research and testing things out. And the simple truth of the matter, what I'm trying to tell you and what I have discovered over the last couple weeks, is that I can't do it without meat. I can't. And I don't know how. And so if you guys, other than those of you who want to tell me what I should be doing or tell me the ideal situation, if any of you guys have dealt with adrenal fatigue, if you understand hormones and you analyze hormones, or you've worked intensely with a doctor who understands hormones, because I don't want to go into hormone therapy over this. This is not what I believe my body is strong. And I do believe that because I've been so adamant about staying healthy and not falling back on stimulants like caffeine or coffee or high sugars or any of those things, that I haven't worsened the issue as many people have. So you guys have seen in my kitchen video that I live off of protein powders, and these protein powders are plant-based powders. I don't understand. I know it's the protein. I can feel it. It doesn't matter how many avocados I eat, how many beans, and this is the really crappy part about it is, you know, when I do the food testing, my body is sensitive to certain legumes, peanuts, beans, and that's like the one thing that I live off of on a daily basis: quinoa, avocados, beans, and then supplement with the iron, which helps a lot, calcium and B12. And that is the direction that has been the most stable for me. But now, in understanding the blood sugar balance and having gone through an extremely stressful month of fighting with this bout, and then doing this research, and then talking to an endocrinologist who says, you know what, you're right, you just need to be able to stabilize your blood sugar. I said, I'll give it a try. I'll try it. And so I tried eating meat, and for a week, and it was like the whole world had changed. And I'm not saying go paleo, and I'm not saying paleo is bad either, but what I'm saying is having a plant-based diet that incorporated more grains, because I'm normally non-grain, non-gluten, that reduced the amount of sugars, even though it's fruit. Every morning I was juicing and I was doing a banana berry type smoothie with my protein. So I've replaced that now with quinoa or rice. I actually blend in unsweetened almond milk with the protein powder. And I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if I pull in 60 grams of protein over the course of a day or more with these plant-based proteins. It's not the fat, it's not the avocados. I am still looking for a solution. I'm still hoping that I can find a way to discontinue compromising the value that I am to my family and to my body, while still being able to maintain the ethics and what I believe is ideal for myself and for the planet and for other beings. But I don't know what to do. And yeah, I wanted to make this video because it's humiliating and it's humbling all at the same time. God, life seems to always try to show me that you never really know unless you actually know. And I know there's been like, it's undeniable, the research and everything that makes sense in my mind. It makes sense to me why a plant-based diet, or a non-meat diet, we'll call it, is so beneficial. And it was really hard for me mentally, emotionally, and even systematically to begin to consume meats. Even sometime in the past, I was a fruitarian, and it helped in the beginning, because in the beginning I went fruitarian, zero sugar, or very minimal sugar. The only sugar, or I'm sorry, fat, zero fat. The only fat I was getting at that time was from whatever jackfruit had, because I was consuming a shake of jackfruit in the morning, and that worked for a week. But once that amount of sugar mixed with just a very little amount of fat, something about the absorption of that sugar without the cortisol levels necessary, I was only able to sustain the fully raw fruitarian diet for about 7 or 8 months before having to cook and consume lots of beans and everything. But it's always felt so imbalanced. I have always felt so exhausted. If I've always had to have a large recovery time when working out or having an overly scheduled weekend. And it's like bedridden. It's not like, well, of course, you get tired when you have a hard workout. It's not like that. And it affects the health of my system. So it's frustrating. And the biggest thing that I always try to incorporate here is to have your ideals, to continue to expand your research and consciousness, and to ultimately, at the end of the day, do what adds value to you, what truly adds value to you. And I don't understand what the lesson is in here, other than humility, other than, I don't know, but it's been really hard for me, and this is a really hard video for me to film. It's hard because when you align yourself to a particular standard, when you hold yourself to a level of integrity, when you know you are disciplined, but you come upon an issue or a challenge which compromises all of that, it is something that is not happening properly in the body. There's something that needs to be addressed. And this is the result, as it turns out. Like, Marin, you've been doing everything completely wrong. You've been consuming too much fruit. You have been eating no grain, which is horrible, for what you're trying to accomplish in recovering your adrenals. You've been avoiding quality protein, as they say. I don't understand, and it's very, very frustrating. And I guess I'm here to have therapy with you guys, because I'm confiding in you. But I want you guys to know I'm not perfect. I don't have the answers. And it's so easy to see a person and say, I want that. I want their body. They can do yoga really fun, you know, and all these things. It's just a trial and error. You continue to recalibrate, refocus. And sometimes I'm right. Sometimes I'm ashamed at how wrong I am. And this goes on so many accounts. I mean, I have so much to talk to you guys about, but it is so easy to hold yourself to a particular ideal and stay so strong in that ideal without seeing completely. And I suppose the message of this video is to have your ideals, to continue to research, but to always stay open-minded. And it's so easy when you are disciplined, when you do hold this level of integrity, it is so easy to become defensive and offended when other people don't seem to have that consciousness or don't seem to walk your walk. You know, a person's medicine could be another's poison. And at the end of the day, do we really truly know? I don't know much. And the more that I learn, the more that I realize how much I don't know. I'm glad we could have this conversation, and I'm so thankful for you guys continuing to follow me on my journey and continuing to contribute your love. And I hope that you get value out of it. I will update you with more on this. Yeah, it's a hard place for me to be accepting of right now. So just wanted to get on the same page with you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate you, and I respect your journey, and I hope that mine only continues to add value to yours. I'll see you guys in the next video, and yeah, thanks for listening to this. I really appreciate it. I will hopefully have a minimalism video for you guys this week, because I have so much to share with you guys, and this is running super long, but yeah, so I will try to get that to you this week as best as I possibly can. And until then, be good, be great, be grateful, and continue to shine your light out there. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.